our university, our community to win consecutive games in conference, to do it at home, meant a lot to us. And it was fun to share that with the Vanderbilt fans that were here, and obviously with Chancellor Diermeyer and Candace Lee and all the people in our administration that support us too, that are making these strides possible. And I can't say enough about this being a new era in Vanderbilt football, this being a point that we'll look back on and see where the shift happened. And that does not mean we've arrived. This is another step in our journey, but we're starting to see what's possible here. And with continued effort and continued support, we feel like we have great things ahead as a program. Really proud of the way our team played, really proud of the way our coaching staff prepared. We had a defense that knew that they needed to take away the run, to force this team to play left-handed. They were able to do that by playing in structure, playing together, and very proud of them. C.J. Taylor, with another big game for us, has become a playmaker we can depend upon and makes big plays in big moments. Obviously, you know, the one explosive touchdown is the one that we're going to look and want back. I thought on the whole we held up pretty well, though, and we were able to move them off their mark and do enough to impact the passing game. But going in, we felt like if we put them in a situation where they had to beat us throwing, that it was going to be a good situation for us. Very proud of the defense for the stop at the end of the game, too. You know, that's another 2-minute stop that they made, stepping up in a big moment. Offensively, you know, can't say enough about the run game, can't say enough about our offensive line and the way they've come together through the season, playing to an identity, playing physically, creating space for our runners. Obviously, Ray Davis with another huge game. I thought Patrick Smith did a nice job of creating a change of pace for us, too. Mike Wright, who has stepped into a role here late in the season and done it admirably, and you know, has been a real leader for us, and very proud and happy for him. And then our receiver group too, including our tight ends, who, you know, we had Bresnahan and Gavin with touchdown catches in big moments for us, right underneath Turner Cockrell's sail, which I thought on the day where we're celebrating Turner's Heroes was a great moment for Turner's family and all the people that were here in support of him, and also for our program too. So, you know, it was a total team effort. It wasn't perfect. There's a lot that we can learn from. There's a better performance out in front of us. But, yeah, I'm proud of this program. And again, I think, you know, they put us in positions to capitalize on our opponents' mistakes, and that's what good teams do. And so with that, I'm happy to open up for questions.
Contrast this to 2 weeks ago. You were here. You had a disappointing performance against South Carolina. The losses in the league were adding up. You've won 2 in a row since. What was the difference?
I think it's all part of the journey. I don't think that we can have this moment without that moment. I just don't live that way. And so everything that we experience is designed for us. Doesn't happen to us. It is through that adversity that we become. And, you know, we needed the South Carolina game to get to the Kentucky game. And we needed the Kentucky game to get to the Florida game here at home. And so, you know, do we want to get to a point as a program where we're not having to learn those painful lessons? Sure, but that's just a part of our journey right now. It's where we are, but I'm proud of the way the team is stayed locked into what they want, stayed on mission. And those guys care about each other, and they care about what we're building. And I think in this day and age, that is a special formula. And they're not worried about external. They're not worried about what's outside, you know, the program. They're focused on each other. They're focused on the mission that we're on. And it's just a breath of fresh air to spend time with these guys every day, and I'm honored to be their coach.
Do you think you guys have turned a corner as a program?
You know, time will tell. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. I think we've strung together a couple of good performances, but you know, we'll do a big picture review of the season once the season's done. Right now, it's going to be let's shift focus. Let's celebrate today. Let's shift focus to our final game, and let's fight to extend this season. And you know, I think that we've learned a lot through the course of this season, and we'll take that learning forward as a program. But still a lot ahead of us to build.
One game being bowl eligible, and UT standing in the way of that. Does that make that even more of a bigger game because of that chance to maybe go to bowl?
No, it doesn't. This is about us. It's about our performance. We know the next opponent, but we're interested in playing at our highest level, and so we're not going to add unnecessary emotions to that. We're going to focus on the things that we can do better, and hopefully put our team in position to have success by being the best version of who we are.
Obviously, fan attendance has been a long time struggle, but what's kind of your message to kind of motivate more Vanderbilt fans to not let Tennessee fans fill up the stadium next week going for bowl eligibility?
That's not a part of my job. I'm preparing the team, and hopefully people are paying attention to what we're doing. And all we can do is, again, focus on what's inside this program, focus on each other, and what we're building here. And over time, people will take notice of that. And so we're going to put our energy on our performance so that we can strengthen and be ready for a great fight next weekend. And anything outside of that is not going to be part of our focus.
It feels like the special teams have been really big the past 2 weeks with the blocked field goal last week, and then this week the Wesley Schelling getting that touchdown. What have you seen out of that unit, and what do you think has been so key in the past 2 weeks of special teams performance?
Well, I think Justin Lustig's done a great job. Obviously, I think we've had really strong specialist play. Matt Hayball has been just such a positive part of our team, and he's had big moments for us this season. Obviously, Joe has done it with us for 2 years now. But what you're seeing is, I think, growth in our personnel. We're a faster team now. We're a more physical team now. We're a team that's playing as though every snap matters, and certainly that's the mentality it takes to be good on special teams. And I expect the special teams play to continue to improve, again, as our program continues to improve too. But certainly proud of the way they've impacted our wins and in the games. And I think that's part of our formula. We have to win the hidden yardage, and we have to create explosive on special teams. They were able to do that today, and that becomes the difference in the game.
You mentioned C.J. Taylor. He was all over the place today. What has clicked for him recently, where he has, within 2 years, gone from a guy who didn't really have a lot of Power 5 offers to now he's one of the best players on your team?
Well, he's a total representation of Vanderbilt football, and this guy is a guy that has the skills and instincts that needed the time to develop, that loves football. And the one thing that I've never questioned is C.J. Taylor's love for the game. And I wasn't sure about his love for the process when he first got here. He had to learn that. He had to learn about what it takes in training and taking care of your body and habits. As those things have gotten in line with his passion for play, again, we knew from the very first practice we had last fall camp that guy was going to chase the ball, that he was going to play physically. And then, I thought when we experienced growth as a program last year, and I mean, it's all relative, but, we started to see the trajectory change. I credit CJ on scout team for a lot of that. And he had people there with him, but he was putting pressure on our offense in practice. And that's, again, a guy who anything that deals with a ball, he's in. He loves to play. He's got great instincts. As we continue to build him out and develop his frame and develop him physically, I think we're still just scratching the surface for him. And I couldn't be happier for a guy.
Jadis Richard stepped in at corner, outside corner, when that, he wasn't particularly recruited to play that position. What does that say about him, that he stepped in there and seemed to do pretty well today?
Yeah, Jadis has been a guy that has improved steadily through the season. He's got the skills. He's physical as a corner. He can run. We've seen him grow, day in, day out in practice, and he's pushing to start for us. He's pushing for that level of playing time. Today it came to him because of the penalty on BJ, but he was ready. And we're going to look back on the explosive touchdown, and that's one we're going to want back. But as a freshman playing in a big moment on a big stage, very proud of the way he prepared himself and the way he played. And I think, again, another guy that, as a young player, we're just we're early in. I mean, he's scratching the surface of what he's capable of.
Has anything changed with who calls the defense or how it's been called the last 2 weeks?
Not at all. I mean, I think what you've seen is you've seen staff become very comfortable with the structure, and really dialed into a message in teaching with our players to get them to buy into it too. I think that side of the ball, has obviously been through a lot this year, but they have stayed after it. We have great leadership on that side of the ball, and that starts with Nick Howell. And Nick, I can't say enough about the way he's built identity into that group. Again, we had to learn to play with structure, and some of the issues early in the season were alignment depths and eyes and things that, as coaches, we can help with that. But what I've known week in and week out is that group's going to show up. They're going to show up focused, and they're going to show up ready to fight. And that's a statement to Nick Howell's leadership and to what he's done with that group is insofar as developing an identity on that side of the ball.
Season high in carries for Ray today. He's got 56 over the last couple of weeks. How have you found that to be kind of the formula for success for the offense?
Staying in rhythm, being patient with the run game. It's not always going to show up early, but we have the opportunity to play physically with an opponent over 4 quarters. And a lot of times, if we can get the drive going, we can use change of pace tempo and physical play to create space for them. I'm not so sure that's ever not been a part of our formula. I just think we've missed, a little bit through the middle of the year. I think that Coach Lynch and his staff have done a great job of working through play design and being creative with how we create the space for them. But obviously Ray, has become a workhorse for us, and he's earned that. I mean, he's a guy that showed up. He gets the tough yards. He seems to always be falling forward, and he can bounce the ball and hit the accelerator too and create explosive as well. So happy for him, and obviously happy for his performance.
Nick was wearing, Virginia gear today along with other Virginia coaches, and I saw there was helmet stickers as well. What does it mean to you guys to kind of honor those players who were killed and to kind of recognize that?
Yeah, I've said this, but obviously last weekend we had the opportunity to celebrate a win together, which is a special moment, and you realize internally again just how incredible the relationships are that you build, and you cherish those. That's a part of this that I don't think that people have a great perspective for that are outside of our program. I've got a lot of questions about how do you sustain, how do you keep them in it. I mean, these guys care about each other, but we were fortunate to wake up on Monday and to be whole. And I think as I was with the team on Monday and as kind of news was breaking and we were learning about what happened, you realize just how special it is to have the opportunity to be a part of this family, and just how grateful we are for each other, but also then in the same space that we feel that we can grieve for our brothers at Virginia, because they lost members of their family that were taken away too early, and our heart goes out to them. That is, as they start their grieving process, it was the least we could do to honor them today. And obviously, between Nick Howell and Kirk Garner, there's 2 guys. Kirk played there, Nick coached there. That that knew the victims, that know the place, that know the community, that we want to lift up and support as a part of our family too.
It seemed like the touchdown to Jaden McGowan and also to Gavin were creative, partly created by scheme. I mean, what can you say about the game that Joey Lynch called today?
Well, yeah, I mean, certainly he got us in the right structures. We've spent a lot of time on this since the South Carolina game because we felt like the plays were there. I can go back to the 3rd and 6, and I think I've talked about that in here. But 3rd and 6, we run a mesh route, and you got Quincy Skinner wide open, and the next defender's 20 yards. And, we get beat on the slide side, and we get the quarterback moving off his mark, and we can't connect. And that's not about South Carolina. That's about Vanderbilt. So the plays that we need to win the game will be there. That's been the message. That means we trust the process, that we stay faithful, and that we make the available play. And we don't need to focus on explosive play, because what we've proven this year is that our explosive plays, we're good enough now to have the explosives come through the available plays. And that goes back to Missouri, where we completed the hitch that went for 80, and Jaden's shown up that way. And so I think that what you're identifying as part of our growth as a team is to play to our highest level, and to know that play design is going to create open people, and when we have open people, we need to hit them. And hopefully we can continue that trend, because that's going to be critical to us, having a chance to extend our season.
Anything else?
What did you see on the?
This is like a fight to get me coughing again, Chris, but I'm not going to let you do that. I feel great right now, by the way. So.
Hopefully you can do this without coughing. But what was your view of the special teams touchdown? It just looked like a big scrum in the box.
Yeah, honestly, I thought we got it cleanly, and of course, you never get it clean. We were lucky that the second man in was able to recover it. But that's a group that's fighting. They're fighting for the ball. They understand how important that possession is. We challenged them this week to create an explosive. We felt like that blocked field goal last week was a huge statement for this team, and that was their chance, and they seized it. And just happy for them, and happy for the fight that they showed on that snap. I don't think that they were going to let Florida come out of that huddle with or that scrum, as you say, with the ball. So that's representative of Vanderbilt football.
Anything else? Thanks, everybody.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
We have Ray Davis. We'll open it up for questions.
Ray, I know last week's win was big, but what did it mean to you to be able to kind of celebrate this one at home?
It felt good, to be able to give our fans what they kind of been waiting for a long time. To be able to see the smiles on their faces, see a lot of people come down and just just enjoy it. Have the fans come down and be with us, and it was exciting taking pictures with a lot of different people. So I think the best part is to be able to see everybody like smiles on everybody else's faces, but also see smiles on my teammates' faces and my coaches' faces, and that definitely was exciting.
What do you think was the key for your offense? Being able to consistently move the ball today.
I think it was for us just staying poised, staying focused. I said a lot, just not trying to meet everybody else's expectations. Stay focused on who we are and do what we have to do to succeed. We know who we are as an offense. We're capable of doing. So it's just about focusing on that and honing on our details from there, and just staying true to what we can and cannot do. I always say, we don't need to go explosive for explosive with other teams. We need to just hone in on what we can do, and if it's little steps, little yards, little whatever the case may be, to be able to get that chunk, then we're going to do that. I think you guys seen that today, where there was a little bit of gains, and it was an explosive play. So that was exciting. But the offense is getting better, and when you have Blas, you have Coach McKenzie, you have Lynch in one room, they're going to come together and make something work and put a scheme together to make sure that we succeed, and they did that today. They did that last week, and they've been doing it all season, and we've been able to go out there and just execute.
30 carries today, Ray. It's a season high for you. Coach called you a workhorse up here. How much pride do you take in that?
Take a lot of pride in it. Coming back from injury last year, it kind of sucked to only go 3 games, but I always pride myself in being able to be the bell cow of the running back room, be a bell cow even where I go, and I try to put my body in the best position to be able to take 30 carries a game, if not more. So it's exciting, but at the end of the day, I think I can do more for this team. I think I can do more to go out there in the pass game and continue to get more receptions and just put us in better positions to succeed. So it's exciting, but I'm not going to say that I accept it. I kind of hope I can do more to help this team succeed, but it's exciting to just be able to carry the ball 30 times. I think that's the most in my career, and I think I could have done a little bit more too.
When was the last time you had more than 30, maybe in high school?
I played quarterback in high school, so I always had the ball. Yeah, I always had the ball.
You were clutching that game ball pretty tightly when you came in here. What's that mean to you?
Feels good. The last 3 games, I just been able to – that's always been on the back of my mind, is to go out there and try to earn that game ball. I think for me, this represents my family. The last name on my back. I got to go out there and be able to grind for my family and put us in the best position to succeed. And to be able to get the game ball just means something special just because it feels like I succeeded and I did that. And I was able to make my family proud and able to make my support group proud. And the goal is to try to get a game ball every game. But at the end of the day, as long as I make my family proud, it was fun to see my dad come on the field and just give me a big hug. We kind of have a unique relationship. So just to be able to see that and enjoy that moment and to be able to enjoy it for the rest of the weekend. I turn 23 tomorrow, so it's a good experience to have with him to be able to come out there and see that. He didn't get to see the Kentucky game or the South Carolina game, but today felt real special to get it.
What are your thoughts on the game next weekend that this sets up, where Tennessee wants to make the playoff and needs to win, and you guys can go to a bowl game if you would think?
Be honest, I'm not really thinking about all the extra stuff beyond that. To me, it's just a game. We're going to prepare. We're going to enjoy this for a couple hours, but on Sunday we're going to get right back to it. We got to focus on us. We can't focus on our other opponent. We can't focus on what everybody else wants us to focus on. Like I said, we're going to go out there. We're going to do our best to try to go home with a W. We're going to try to fix the little things we got to fix out here and focus on that and be ready for the game next week.
Anything else for Ray?
Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Thank you.
CJ Taylor had 10 tackles, guys. 10 tackles.
Next up, we have CJ Taylor.
You did a really good job of anticipating both those 2-point plays, and especially the first one where you got to where it looked like Richardson didn't see you. What did you see on those plays?
So before the game, we had a game plan where, like, on 2-point conversions, they like to have boots and stuff like that, play actions, and it was kind of just a good call. And I had where I was going to peel it back, but then I just decided, to go get the quarterback, and the Mike pushed through and took the pill, so it kind of just went our way.
You're from, you're from Middle Tennessee. What does it mean to you to be a part of potentially revitalizing this program?
Well, that means a lot. That's one of the reasons why I personally came here. It just feels good. A lot of my family came to the game today, and kind of like what Ray said earlier, his family came out there and gave him a big hug, so it means a lot.
What do you think has clicked for you recently, where you've been playing a lot and playing well?
For as a team or just for me?
For you.
Just building confidence throughout the week and, relying on that throughout the games. Coach Howell puts a lot of trust in me, and Jimmy Thompson, Coach Thompson, put a lot of trust in me. So I don't want to let them down. I don't want to let myself down. So I kind of just build confidence and lead with that.
You've kind of made a role for yourself starting with fall camp. You're not exactly a safety. You're not exactly a linebacker. And there's some other players older than you that have played a lot of those spots. How did you go about working to get yourself on the field?
Coach Thompson and Coach Howell always let it be known, I don't want you to be complacent with anything. I don't want you to just learn this job or this position. So I kind of just took it and ran with it. I didn't have a set position. I still don't. So it's kind of like I'm playing outside linebacker, hybrid safety. So I think it's unique, and I kind of like doing it. So just ride with it.
You're from the state of Tennessee. What's next week mean for you?
Kind of like what Ray said. I'm not really looking for. I'm not looking too far into it right now. I still got my clothes on, so I want to get out and shower and stuff like that, and hang out with the boys and talk about this game before we even look at this one, the next one.
Anything else for CJ? Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Thank you.